Всім привіт! Я Олена Скалецька, телеведуча з Харкова. І за війни я вирішила їхати до Канади. І перше питання – де я буду жити? Ні родичів, ні знайомих, доволі скромний бюджет. Тобто мені потрібна була хост-родина, і я знайшла волонтерів організації We Help Ukraine to GTA, і вони знайшли зовсім безкоштовно, знайшли для мене хост-родину. Ми зустрілися з Аяною і Максом, родина співаків, в інтернеті. Це була Zoom-зустріч. Ось так ми і познайомились.
We came to Canada in the end of 2011, so it's approximately 13 years ago. And I got a job here initially in a mining company, and we didn't want to, migrate to Canada initially, but after a couple of years, we really enjoyed being in Canada, in Toronto, and we decided to stay here permanently. So yeah, it was almost like, as I said, 13 years ago. So our youngest child, David, was born here, and at that time we moved. We had 2 kids. The eldest one, he's in the last year in the university, in Guelph University, so he will be graduating this December actually. And our daughter, Sonia, she is in the grade 11 in high school. Here we are.
Аяна, hello.
Hello. Yeah, a little bit about ourselves. So I'm working here in the mental health field. I'm a psychotherapist, and I've been licensed 4 years ago, and it's been a while. It's been a long way until I get what I wanted as an immigrant, but it was no regrets here. And you?
And I have a much more boring job. I'm working in a bank as a project manager.
But it's a very important job in Canada.
Yeah, but it's really boring.
Отже, ми познайомилися, поспілкувалися в Зумі, підписали угоду, що я можу мешкати у Максима і Аяни 3 місяці безкоштовно. Я видихнула, бо це дуже-дуже велика допомога в ці перші місяці перебування в Канаді, за що я дуже-дуже вдячна Максиму і Аяні. І це, до речі, дуже багато родин з Росії, Білорусі, Молдови допомагають українським родинам. Чому вони це саме роблять? От я спитала у Максима і Аяни.
When the war started in February 2022, we felt terrible. We felt depressed. We felt helpless, and we couldn't do it. We just thinking, what can we do to sort of help people? We couldn't, obviously stop the war. We couldn't do nothing, and we donated money to different funds who helped Ukrainians, who helped refugees, and
But nothing felt enough.
yeah. Exactly. So when the first Ukrainian refugees started, coming to Canada through this program last summer, so we decided, yes, that's something we definitely have to do. That's something how we actually can help real people. So yeah, that was basically immediate decision.
Yeah, decision was easy to make. So we were just waiting for the information to come. So, and when one of my friends told me that, there's an organization who is supporting the refugees with housing, and you can be host, and it didn't took long for us to decide it. And I asked Maxim, do you think we can manage? And he said yes right away. So, and then very next day I called Nina Blinova, and then we started.
Отже, родина співаків зустріла нас в аеропорту Торонто, і зараз ми приїхали в їх дом. Рута! В Онтаріо, Річмонд Хіл. Рута! Oh, hello!
Hello, please come in. Yes. Oh, dogs, please come in. Ruta. Hi.
Hello!
Yes, please welcome to our house. Get yourself comfortable.
Якщо ви ніколи не були в канадських домах, то от в кожному домі обов'язково є фортепіано. Дуже багато інструментів. Привіт! Юлік, що ти нам розказуєш? Так, це наш перший дом канадської родини, яка привітала нас і де ми будемо мешкати.
Happens that we specialized on guests with pets. So since we have our own pet, Yulik, he is, and it was quite natural for us to invite people, to welcome people to our house who already have pets, and we know it's not easy to find something when you have something extra in your life. So yes, and our first guest was Masha with her wonderful dog Alf, and the second guest is Lena with amazing Ruta. Here she is. Yes, and it happens it's our specialty now, and there is no regrets. Of course, we were worried a little bit in the beginning how dogs can get along and if it's going to work or not. But we did all this ritual dance around those dogs, and they know now they're best friends. Yeah, no regrets here.
Did you have some worries about new dogs in your house?
I don't think so. The only worries was about how they get along with our own dog, but we good. We are very understanding in terms of they can shed, they can bark. So and we enjoy this process, to be honest. So we were overexcited. David, our son, every time he was just thrilled to have another pet in our house, because I don't think we can have another pet. We're good with one, but it's temporary. It's entertaining for him, I believe. Yes, absolutely delight. Yeah.
Ну що, ти готова до своїх апартаментів? Пішли? Так, тобто тут ми будемо жити. У цьому підвалі, як кажуть наші. Але це канадці називаються бейсмент. І тут ми будемо жити. Це в нас окремі душова, туалет. Спорт. Теж супер. Так, можна пограти на акордеоні. Тут ми будемо сидіти. Боже, як затишно. Дуже затишно. Тут можна полежати, тут посидіти, тут спати, там займатися англійською. А тут Рута! Собака в захваті, бо вона має свій такий виход, окремий виход в такий бекярд. Можна гуляти, можна сидіти. Ось так тут все. І попригати на батуті. Рута, ну що, тобі подобається? Привіт! Дуже затишно, дуже по-родинному. Ось такі апартаменти нам дала канадська родина з Росії, яка тут мешкає майже 13 років. Поділилася містом в своєму домі, щоб ми почували себе тут затишно, комфортно. Дуже дякуємо за це. Тобі подобається, Рута? Схоже, так. Аяна і Макс допомогли мені не тільки з житлом, вони ділилися різною інформацією, вони змогли привозити мене до деяких організацій, щоб я оформила важливі документи, бо в Канаді зазвичай все дуже-дуже далеко. Це десятки кілометрів. Але у кожної родини свої можливості і обговорюйте це. Ну і ще ми знаходили можливість спілкуватись, проводити час разом, готувати борщі, смажити млинці, ліпити вареники. І це було дуже зворушливо, і це був дуже класний час.
Yeah, so there's many memories we made during this time together when we have our guests, and we tried to make vareniki. I wouldn't say we were completely successful, but we were learning. We were trying hard. We were gross or small motor skills, fine motor skills were just improving perfectly. Yeah, so of course there's borscht and blinchiki, pancakes, and yeah, it was fantastic, and it was always warm, and the idea of exchanging cultures and touching upon our childhood memories as well. It was just very warm and heartwarming experience. Yeah.
Well, if you already made this decision to host the Ukrainian families, I think first of all you would need to ensure that you have sufficient, I would say, time to help them. Those people are coming without any ability to move around, right? They don't have a car or even bikes for them. It's not sometimes an option. So during the first at least couple of weeks, you need to help them to move around, to get their documents, paperwork, health card, everything. So that's the first thing. So ensure you have some time. Then plan your budget, because again, as per the agreement with volunteers, these people are living for free, and you're sharing everything, and you're sharing your utilities, groceries. So prepare the budget as well. And lastly, just go ahead and be a volunteer. It's a really great and rewarding experience.
What about you? What you can get of this new experience, and why you did it?
Why did we do this? Because we just wanted to do something, at least something. So, and I guess for us it was our own way to deal with our feeling of helplessness, or the feeling of, oh, there's nothing we can change in a bigger scale. There's at least something, and that was definitely important for us. And in terms of expectations from hosting families, I think, we step into this experience with almost zero expectation, but a big desire to help. And it turned out my major advice would be to be open, as open-minded as it possible, to be as responsible as you can. Yes, provide your time and make sure you can commit what you promised to. Yes. And to be ready for adventure. Yeah.
Це була моя хост-родина, Макс і Аяна. А де ви знаходили свої хост-родини? Пишіть свої історії. Давайте ділитися інформацією, бо канал Ukrainians&Canadians саме про це. Якщо вам потрібні волонтерські організації, і які допомагають з пошуком хост-родин в інших регіонах Канади, теж пишіть, і я обов'язково поділюся цією інформацією. Отже, до зустрічі на каналі Ukrainians&Canadians.